Mamdani, 5 days ago or so, said he's going to stop police sweeps of homeless encampments in New York City. Again, New York City, we have a right to shelter. When Kmele gets homeless next week, he has a right to a shelter bed, as long as he puts up with some minimal rules, and it's fine.
No
so,
drinking.
I just don't know why I'm homeless next week.
Well, we got a plan.
Okay.
Just hang on.
We know of new methods of attack.
Okay.
I'm
I just
corny.
needed to reset. Yeah, so
Trojan horse.
Walked
heliocentrism.
over there. And
Yeah.
that
Fifth
was
column,
Yep, that was what I said.
column.
Heliocentrism.
Yeah.
This show Orb is about the centuries-long effort to persuade institutions and the public broadly that Earth is not at the center.
Heliocentrism.
Yes, heliocentrism.
Oh, yes.
So the anime is a fictionalized historical account of that project, and you just get the generations of people who were like, yeah, no, like the sun is at the center and the Earth is actually moving around it. As they get him, kill him.
You crazy. Not true. Sun is not the center.
Actually, that's not far off.
Center.
That's not far off, and it's brilliant.
We haven't
It's like
started yet,
really
right?
well done.
Thank God.
I just like it a lot.
Totally started.
Yeah, I recommend Orb.
Come
I wish I could remember
here.
the name of the guy who recommended
Come
it.
here. Heliocentric. Moon is in the sky.
Now do Tyrone.
All right.
They've,
Man, fuck this helio.
they've been
Or
asking.
flat.
They've been asking for the three of us to just drink on
Yeah.
camera.
Well,
So-
to drink and to actually record an episode ourselves.
That too, I suppose.
You know, we were just doing an experiment.
That's pretty good.
Is it?
Oh, God.
Shout out to Maclo. Let's go.
Isn't he
What
the
are we
rapper
doing?
that hates Jews?
No,
Macklemore.
that is the finest
Oh,
beverage imaginable,
Yeah, they don't
possible,
hate Jews at
attainable.
No, they
No,
love
it's
them.
great. And if
Ooh, that's
you
a spicy meatball.
if you don't hate Jews, you should
Good
be
Lord.
you should be drinking the Maclo too. So yeah,
On the
so
rock.
neither of you guys have actually watched the 50 Cent produced Diddy documentary on Netflix?
No. Hey, wait, is 50 Cent produced that?
50 Cent is the guy. He's been doing all of the whole media circuit.
But he doesn't like
He's doing
him,
interviews with
right?
No, it's fair to say he doesn't like him.
But how did he get the? Was he inside?
We don't
compound?
know how he got the footage. I saw him doing an interview with the guy who hosts The Beat on MSNBC.
Sure, Ari Melber.
Ari
Ari
Melber.
Melber, yes, who's a big
Yeah.
50 Cent fan, big
Loves
hip
the
hop fan.
rapists.
And yeah, I mean,
So
50,
Schultz is like best friends with 50 Cent.
dude,
now.
this documentary is a quality piece
Yeah.
of journalism. Like there are great. Let me qualify this. There's plenty that I haven't run down yet.
Yeah.
There are things that made me raise my eyebrows.
Like
but
FDR knew
overall-
about Pearl Harbor.
Well,
Is he going on
No,
about
no, no.
that?
That's Tucker
Overall,
Carlson.
I
That's
think
different.
it's
Shit, sorry. Yeah.
overall, I think it's fascinating. It is the very best rendition of the Diddy killed Tupac thing I've seen. But that's not even the major thing that it delivers on. The accounts from the people who claim to have been sexually assaulted by Diddy. I suppose I'm supposed to say SA because we are on
SA.
YouTube and there's some issue
Oh, you
with,
can't say
you know,
that?
you can't say it.
So,
But it doesn't matter. We've said it already. It's fine.
Sassy Assassin.
oh, yeah.
You say it like
Um,
that, they don't pick it up.
It's really well done, especially the stuff with like the guys who were sexually assaulted or claimed to have been sexually assaulted by Diddy. It's,
So this is an
really well
elaborate
produced.
project for him to call him gay, basically.
I mean, he's not just calling him gay. He's violent, murderous,
Gay.
a sexual assaulter
Yeah.
who also apparently is kind of into guys.
Okay.
And at a minimum, it's been established at this point. He certainly likes to watch other men have sex.
He must have
with
lawyered
women.
this shit like crazy. I
One
mean,
imagines. Yeah, Diddy is upset. There's been some public statements. He insists that the footage was stolen. Netflix.
But watch out. He's
has
going to
a-
come after you. Oh,
I
no, he's
mean,
not. He's in
He's
prison.
not going to do anything.
What's the title of it?
His resources are tied
He's
up.
a gay.
No, it's not called that. I don't know what it's
Oh,
called.
I just searched for Diddy's a gay.
Diddy
that's
Netflix
got a lot of
documentary.
results.
Someone will tell me what it's called. I don't know. There's a picture of it. Maybe it's called The Reckoning or something like that. Yeah, but it's on Netflix. You can find it and it's worth your time. Like it's
All right.
surprisingly good. Like really, really, really good.
I think he's very, very funny.
50?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's a great interview.
If you ever see, I saw him a long time ago, interviewed by Howard Stern, and it was like so entertaining.
No, he's super
He's like
interesting.
very clever, and Chris Gotti, friend of the show,
This is true.
apologize, not a friend.
So this is why 50 will never come on.
Yeah, they got in a fist fight at one point. I think Chris just punched him at one point. But anyway, yeah, that's in a thing that I've done with Chris. It should be coming out fairly soon.
When's it coming out, man?
I don't know. It is like Chinese Democracy, not the Guns N' Roses record. It's coming out sometime. But I filmed the thing with Chris, and I think we talked about 50 a little bit in that. Or do I say 50? What is the appropriate?
I think you should say 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hard R, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. 50.
Mr. 50.
Yeah, Mr. 50.
50 cents.
Yeah. So what are we going to talk about beyond that?
Rappers?
Yeah, rappers.
I mean, we could keep talking about rappers. Then it's fine by me.
I don't have anything to say, I don't think. Unless we talk, we
You
go
sent,
back.
you sent a text about some guy on the transition team, but no, we could talk about any number of
No,
things.
it was
Lots of
on
stuff happening right now.
Zoran's transition team.
Yeah.
And he had a shirt on, and I just wanted to maybe I don't know if we can put it on the screen, but the shirt that he had on, I don't know who this guy is. It's he's an ex-con, which I'm fine with. You gotta come back to society. But he has a shirt on that says "Boycott Black Murder."
I agree.
Which I don't
I
Generally
absolutely
bad. Generally
agree.
frowned upon.
How do you
that.
boycott it?
Well, so if someone's doing a black murder,
Yeah, you'd be like, I want nothing to do
I'm
with this.
not gonna buy
Yeah,
this.
I'm not even calling the cops. I am boycotting this whole affair.
I totally,
Yeah.
I see nothing wrong with that shirt.
Boycott Black Murder. I don't know. I thought it was like a band or something.
I will say a lot of the times when you see news stories about failed rappers or rappers who never achieved a great deal of success, let's put it that way. Not
Usually
failed.
find about them when they get
They're
shot. by the
usually
way.
bad. And
Yeah.
also, yes, they're getting shot. He's actually pretty good. I saw his freestyle with
Who?
Funk Flex. This guy.
Boycott Black Murder?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a rapper too?
Yeah, he's pretty good. Pretty good.
If I just assumed he was a rapper, that'd have been so racist.
It would have been. Yes. But it's in the
I was
story.
like, I thought he's a political guy.
It's
He's on
in
the
the story
transition
by the
team.
New York Post. I
I
didn't
assume
recognize
that Zoran Mamdani or Moron Zamdani. What are we going to
He's
call him?
not a good rapper.
That he's a rapper.
He's
First time I saw him, I was like, that guy, head
Did you?
tilt.
Yeah.
He's very authentic, though. He eats stuff with his hands.
Yeah.
That's why he got elected. Kids saw them. The kids, you just pointed this out, and I want to say that I have no foreknowledge of this. I found this out about, I don't know, 3 minutes ago, but there is Glenn Beck is doing something for the kids. And he says it in the video. He's like, I'm doing this, talk like for the kids.
AI George
And
Washington.
it's an AI George Washington, in which Glenn Beck, and it reminded me that the first piece ever for the Vice News Tonight Show was me with Glenn Beck, and he was very interesting because he was talking about how Trump is a piece of shit, and he was voting for the U.S. Constitution Party because it was like that's
Daryl Castle's outfit. Daryl Castle was a serial candidate for the U.S. Constitution
He
Party.
sounds racist. Though.
Yeah, probably.
Is he?
I don't know.
I don't know. All right, we can maybe cut that in case he gets sued. We don't have 50s lawyers, but yeah, he was really like fascinating. The piece turned out terrible because it was cut horribly, and it became this 3-minute thing. And I spent like 12 hours with the guy and watched a debate, the Hillary Trump debate, at his like in the middle of nowhere where they had to pick us up. Because there's only GPS coordinates. There were no roads. Nothing. It was crazy. And that's not the Glenn Beck of today, because this whole thing starts with him saying, so I was at Mar-a-Lago last night. It's like, yeah, of course. But he did an interview with an AI version of George Washington.
Do we have
clip? Do we have, it's off. No, it's not, we got nothing here. No, George Washington, no. No, not the George. It'd be great if you did like an AI Lieutenant General Gage. That'd be a good one. I'm a big Gage fan, by the way.
Too many people named Gage and Clinton in the Revolutionary War.
Is there more than one?
I think there's two Gages, because there's two Howes, of course, but I think there were two Gages as well.
I live really close to the Old North Bridge, and there's a thing there in the North Bridge, and you could press a button and listen to it, and there was a thing, because, when they saw the fire coming from Concord, and there was the worst voice actor, and he was like, and then it went to General Gage, and he's on over, he said, have they burned the town down? And it was like this really overdone. And I was like, I just kept on pressing the button. Have they burned the town down?
That reminds me of when I think it was Easy, not even Coco. We had a little like a Reason webathon swag. It was a keychain with a button, and it was of John Stossel singing, "Give me a break."
Get out the shovel. Hands backwards.
She would just walk around the apartment like, "Give me a break."
That's what I imagine John Stossel does when he's like at a bodega. Give me a break.
Were you there, Camille? When
We got to do this.
no, we don't. We will.
Wait, are we back now?
We're
We're
totally
back,
back.
we're
We're totally
back,
back.
we're back.
Okay.
When Stossel was retiring, Kenny and I bought a shovel and spray painted it gold.
Oh,
and
yeah.
presented him with the gold, and we were wasted.
He didn't think it was funny, did he?
No,
Not at all.
That sounds about right. I was not there for that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Go
All
ahead.
right, this is Glenn Beck speaking to
The father of our
AI,
country.
Stage 19, AI George Washington.
George, we have programmed a lot of information and given you
my
a lot
Lord.
of information on what's going on in
The
today's
guy who works at
America.
Bain Capital.
Based on your writings and the writings of the rest of the founders,
Wasn't that a
what
wig,
is
though?
it that you feel is the
Yeah.
biggest
He's still wearing it,
problem,
but he's also
or
wearing a
where
tight
we should
black
start to
t-shirt.
fix things?
If I may speak plainly, my countrymen, the greatest danger to our republic lies not in foreign arms or political faction, but in the
May I
decay.
just interrupt you for a second? Could you just dumb it down just a little bit?
Okay, I do have 29 points, and they're all referenced to exactly what we said in the
For
past.
this, just speak in today's language.
Okay, I get it.
He's rebooting, you see.
Let me speak to Americans.
God.
If I'm honest, America's biggest problem isn't political or
It's
economic.
lip syncing.
It's all moral. You've drifted from the virtues
Yeah.
that make liberty possible in the first place. Freedom. To be free, you have to have discipline, you have to have faith, you have to have
He's
character.
going to start crying, isn't he?
And if you don't have any of those things,
Oh,
laws.
black people.
Laws can't stop anything, they move
Mexican.
little. Government turns either
I
weak
used to
or
own them.
oppressive.
He didn't own
Have
Mexican.
grown
No.
skeptical of
He was
truth.
trying to get him.
Yeah.
Reckless with debt. You're comfortable blaming instead of building anything. And in my time, we understood that self-governance begins
Slavery.
with self-control. Do you even recognize what self-control is? Public virtue matters more than public opinion.
All right, I think that's enough.
Yeah.
That, by the way,
I wonder who's doing the soundscapes though.
the soundscapes are great. I love that the lip syncing is like a fucking Hercules movie. It's completely wrong. He's like,
Do you ever see the first Mad
That-
Max, which wasn't called Mad Max, or maybe it was, but like when it came to the American market, Mel Gibson's accent was so Australian that they dubbed it into.
Did they really?
Yeah, and they dubbed it into American English. That's what
wow,
that
I wonder if
reminds
it's
me
George Washington did it. That is, I think Beck has been working on this as like a thing that he's doing, right? He's like investing in an AI that is really terrible, by the way. I mean, it just does not, I mean, you could do better literally on ChatGPT or Gemini or something. And weirdly, George Washington has the exact same beliefs as Glenn Beck.
of. Very and T-shirt style.
Yeah, he was like rolling up a pack of Luckies and he's like, these blacks that are in the stores, they should be in the fields. That's what he should have said because George Washington owned slaves.
I
Matt.
get it.
Did you not watch Ken Burns?
I did.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I've watched, I think, the first 5 or the first 4, and the last one. And
Does it get less pro-British? Because I'm in episode 2, and good Lord, man.
it tilts a little bit pro-British at times, and then like it'll vault back. Your head will get snapped. Like actually in the second episode, you know, they're telling lots of different points.
That's where I am. I just started in the second episode.
Points of view, and then kind of near the end of it, it's like Thomas Jefferson doing the Declaration of Independence, and then you're like, wow, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like I remember that
But
part.
he's always going to bum you out with the slave talk.
Jesus.
But like,
Enough
look,
about
you-
the slaves.
Yeah, but
we
you
get
gotta
it.
mention it, but like there's a couple. There's like a lot, but there's a couple of there's a couple of times when Peter Coyote, the great voiceover artist, is like, and there were natives 3 towns away. And I'm like, what happens? They're just kind of shoehorning a lot of stuff in. The best at the beginning, I think, of the second episode, they're talking about when a bunch of natives, which is great and a really great sort of footnote, but it's kind of a footnote, came from Stockbridge east, and it's like, oh, that's really cool. But it was like, did they fight?
Well,
did they do anything else?
I got some bad news about how it's going to go with the natives a little bit later.
They're not very good at fighting, are they?
They can be pretty good at fighting. Sometimes
Fighting children.
each other. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
No,
everybody's good at fighting children. I wasn't hanging.
I've been reading and I've been consuming a lot of Revolutionary War stuff, and I also spend a lot of time upstate New York, as you well know.
Yeah.
And you drive around up there, you're always going by like Patriot burials. It's just like the scenes of a lot of things happen up there. Obviously, up and down the Hudson River, there are lots of where Benedict Arnold almost sold the country down the river. Fuck him.
Yeah.
By the way,
But
not over it.
was
Ticonderoga's
pretty good.
pretty badass. No, he did some badass stuff.
Like, they were like, all right, we give up. But I bet they had foreknowledge though, because they're all in cahoots, right? Because the Brits gave up without a shot fired, right? At Ticonderoga.
Pretty much, yeah. Long story short, what George Washington did to the Mohawks and Senecas and other tribes in like 1779, it's not good.
Wait, I thought he became friends with them. Get him back up on the AI. Let's ask him in his tight T-shirt.
They didn't understand the value of thrift. No, it's like burn them all.
Yeah.
It was burn them all.
Do you think it was justified?
It was no, I don't.
Don't?
I don't think it was justified. No, I mean it was
Somebody else that hates America.
There's there's a lot of complications. No, the Burns thing is good, and I look forward to it being completely or me finishing it entirely. It's like funny, like you hear some things that are maybe that have long been part of a certain type of academic vernacular, but the word slave is never used. It's
Really?
Listen for it. Enslaved
enslaved
people.
persons.
Enslaved people or
Wow.
enslaved persons.
Yeah.
Tiny little
Not like
details like that.
workers.
Which is good. I mean,
Call them
everyone
that.
feels better about that.
Yeah.
Especially the enslaved persons.
Like I kind of
Hard-working people.
I'm with it.
I kind of see it actually.
I'm actually with it.
Because it's sort of, you're not creating this sort of like de minimis category, like in the same way that people argue, and this maybe is a transition or maybe not, that like calling people illegals, like there's something kind of like wrong with that, even though they're here illegally. But like it's just like that's
dehumanizing.
That's not the fullness of the human being there.
Yeah.
Enslaved people.
But can
somehow.
we call them immigrants?
Yes.
Sure.
But what if we modify that to say illegal immigrants?
Yeah. I'm fine with it, but a lot of people are not. Like undocumented persons, right? Undocumented people, and I think that's.
It's the same.
Did they talk about
undocumented-
that in the New York Times story? The
Shock. God, it was a shocker. It was 10,000 words. My train ride is long, and I didn't even finish. I was walking in the cold with my hands, like finishing the article, and it is a 2-byline piece about the Biden administration and immigration. And when we've talked on the show a number of times, a lot recently, about the value of places like the New York Times, that's when you see the value of a place like the New York Times, which has a lot of contacts within the administration. They have a lot of people speaking on background, some that are the Ron Klains of the world that come on the record to say, no, none of this ever happened.
Such a
And
despicable
then they quote
toad.
95 other people like, no, it totally happened.
Yeah, and it's Ron Klain's fault. Fuck
And it's
him.
Ron Klain's fault and Anita Dunn's fault. They have a list of all the people that were responsible for this policy.
Wow.
But the premise of the piece is effectively that they were given a ton of warning by people in their own party, within the White House, that this was going to be a catastrophic policy. And I think it's safe to say, I mean, there's a lot of other factors. You can never say it's monocausal, but it is safe to say that the immigration thing is what moved people to vote for Donald Trump. I think
Immigration
there's
plus inflation.
plus inflation, yeah. Immigration's a big factor.
Also, they pretended that he was a president for a couple of years there when he was just like, eh.
Yeah. It was good. You had a good Biden.
Was it? Right.
Yeah, because it's not a word. It's no words. He's just going, it's not like you're like just shifting uncomfortably in your chair, which is what he did. It's
kind of what I do.
But the couple of interesting things about it, and I recommend that people read it. It's
The
incredibly
title is How Biden Ignored Warnings and
Yes.
Lost Americans' Faith in Immigration.
Yes. And there's a couple of, I pulled a couple of lines from it, but there are a few things that are interesting. One is how Democrats see the stunt. I don't want to call it a stunt now. The thing that was done to
Tactic.
ship, a tactic, yeah, to ship immigrants north to northern cities, to sanctuary cities, to New York
Martha's
City,
Vineyard.
to Martha's Vineyard.
Did that start in Texas or Florida?
Start in Texas.
Okay.
Florida follows, but Florida.
But
I think
Ron ended up
he
doing
was
it
the
as
one
well.
to Martha's Vineyard. I think was he
Right.
at Martha's Vineyard? I think he was.
Yeah,
the
he
one who
chartered
did it.
planes
Yeah.
and sent them to
Yeah,
Martha's
which
Vineyard.
is it's a lot to charter a plane to Martha's Vineyard.
I will just register for the historical record that when that happened, I think our respective reactions were you were like I don't know, but it's also kind of clever. I was like, I don't like that at all. That's bad. That's political. And Moynihan's like, that was pretty awesome.
It's literally pretty hilarious.
But
I
it
gotta say.
turns out it was.
It turns out, according to
New York
Democrats,
Times.
that was like the hinge moment because
it was genius strategy.
it was good strategy, and it was like they are thinking that it's the border states that are going to have to absorb this, which is Arizona, Texas, of course, and fuck them, and that's kind of the attitude from them. And like, no, I think there was a point at which they said the population of Denver was like 740,000, and they had like 60,000, 40,000, 50,000 migrants that had been bus there, just bus there, and that is kind of wild. But and this is the New York Times saying this. It's according to Democrats, and the Times is writing this. No quotes in this. First, they underestimated the scale of migration that was coming. Second, they failed to appreciate the political reaction to that migration, believing that stronger enforcement would alienate Latino and progressive voters, and also that a border surge would not be an important issue to most voters. Talk about how goddamn clueless you could be. Wrong on two counts. I mean, it was hugely important to Latino voters, and it's a great example, that story. It doesn't spell this out, but if you're paying attention, what you take from it is that identity politics is poisonous in a way that when you're planning, you're like, well, this will make Latino voters like us wrong. And it was the opposite. And obviously Trump is losing those people now because it's not about enforcement. It's about the nature of the enforcement, how it's being done. But there was a pretty big groundswell of people, and many of them were Hispanic, saying this can no longer go on. And it's laid out in this piece that they were like, well, that's the opposite of what will happen. They will love us because of it.
I saw some conservative complaining about the piece, conservatives saying two things, essentially. One is that there was a single formulation in which, Republicans labeled Kamala Harris as the border czar, even though she wasn't really the border czar, which seems like actually they kind of call her the border czar. And then more broadly, that the piece is kind of like, who used to do those ones during COVID? David something or other for the New York Times, who like made it safe to say that maybe we've gone a little
David
bit. David Leonhardt.
Yeah.
We've gone a little bit too far. It's basically like, it's even the New York Times now is saying this.
This is a quote, by the way. In the piece, it says Kamala Harris was not the border czar. It says that.
Right,
They said that. They said border czar.
But it's also weird because right before that, it says,
Correct.
That's what you were going to say? Okay.
The president and others made a decision that he wasn't going to lose that community, Hispanics, said Roberta S. Jacobson, the border czar, for the first 3 months of the administration, which is a lot of wrong things in one sentence, that there is no border czar, and that he doesn't want to lose that community. And by doing this, he lost that community, which is this is stuff that you will teach in political science classes and how to misread a situation and shoot yourself in the foot and lose an election, on top of the fact that he couldn't run for a second term. But on top of that is this stuff, which is amazing.
There's really also, I think, a problem, and Trump is going to face it now more and more, I think, by the day as he goes around and tries to kind of campaign on his economic success.
Yeah, nice job.
That's going to be strange. Like, Americans don't really like being told that the stuff that they see isn't really happening.
Yeah.
It's just really bad. And you were talking earlier when we were near the kitchen, just doing a search on like whether the border was a crisis. There was a publishing cottage industry saying There's no crisis at the border.
Because someone told us that there was a daily episode, which I couldn't find, and the headline was like, "There's no crisis at the border."
Someone told us.
Yeah.
Maybe
Michael
he's-
Barbaro.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, okay, yeah, no crisis. But no, it was, you didn't have to find that, because no crisis at the border, there were like 100 pieces that there's no crisis.
Same
There's no crisis
formulation.
coming, and there's no crisis. Now, a lot of them are from 2018, which is slightly different. But the crisis is a ramp up, and you can see this crisis happening. And the numbers that are in the Times piece are really astonishing, because you start thinking about the economic benefits of immigration, and we've talked about those, which are pretty obvious. And then you realize the cost of this to these cities in, hospitals, schools. I mean, this is during the pandemic. I mean, it is astonishing. We're talking like, small cities that are spending $500 million on the people that have been bused there because, hey, you guys think it's so easy? You take them. Yeah, not a bad policy in a way, because it worked. It worked politically for them. And I'm not saying, it's the most humane thing in the world, but it's not inhumane. They're not going to a jail. They're going to a different city. And that city said, we welcome them. And it cost them a fortune. And it cost Democrats the White House.
And it changed the shape of New York, where certainly I live, and sometimes you guys have lived.
Adams was like out front on this really early. He was not playing the progressive
That's
game on
actually
this.
very true. Yeah.
True, but also he was in a city that has automatic right to shelter, which is a rare thing for most American cities. So, like, if you were homeless, or if you came off a Ron DeSantis bus, you have a right to do it. So he was commandeering hotels in Midtown. Like many, many different places that thought that they had property rights did not, and instead they were housing at a huge cost. All these migrants,
some of the people that we know
pissed off,
who are libertarian on this issue and like immigration.
I'm
think
libertarian on this
I
issue
still
and
like
like immigration.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad for you guys. But no, I mean, people who didn't address and they didn't address in real time and have not addressed the thing that turned a lot of people, including myself, away from thinking this was not a big issue. I kind of bought that narrative for a bit. And then seeing the hotel stuff, seeing the fact that they were printing and issuing debit cards, which is a real thing. It sounds like one of those fake stories that you would hear on Rush Limbaugh in the 90s or something. It's like, no, that was a real thing. And the insanity of that. But I go to Long Island, and you go out in the winter, and there's people who live in Long Island. There's no people who are vacationing there, who have second homes. And you go to a shopping plaza, and it is, I did this the other day, it's 90% migrants. I mean, literally 80, 90%. It's crazy. When you when you take away all of the sort of rich people and the people that come in, and you see this sort of blending of stuff, and it's just the people that are there all the time. And this isn't a complaint in any way, but I do think that those places in Long Island, which are very Republican, and they vote for Donald Trump, right? And these counties, like in certain places in these counties, are very, very red. And I think it's just that basic thing that, is it crime? No, it's not the MS-13 stuff, which exists in Long Island. But it's not the stuff that they scare you about. It's just the basic changing of the, and I'm using this word very deliberately, complexion of the neighborhoods. When people say like, oh, I grew up on the island and it's just, I don't even recognize this place anymore. That's what they're talking about. In whether it's not about arguing about that instinct, it's just acknowledging the political reality that people do not like it.
So you're saying that J.D. Vance, who, despite his marriage, says things like, it's jarring and unwelcome for people to live in a neighborhood where the people don't speak English. They haven't acculturated its American values.
Correct. Yeah, I think he's. I think he's making an argument where I'm not making an argument about this. I'm just saying that I do believe that is the reaction from a lot of people.
I remember.
Is he making an argument though, or is just
I don't
making
know.
an observation?
I don't know. I mean,
'Cause
knowing his other politics, I'm sure he's making.
You
an
know,
argument.
and he does go on to say, if I remember the clip correctly, that it's okay, like it's reasonable that
Yeah.
people feel this way, that they want some continuity in their communities. And I know we've talked about it before, but there was something very similar when Southern blacks were migrating to the North, and then the Northern blacks in their newspaper of record were complaining ceaselessly about these people coming with their different culture. Just this is a problem. It's been the case since time immemorial.
Right, but also in other contexts, we reject that as a problem. Us. So like when I hear wherever I live, which is because I have a pretty unbroken record of living in gentrifying neighborhoods, at least till the goddamn migrants showed up. But
different type of gentrification.
no, people complain about gentrifiers. You're not from New York. You just came here. You priced out everyone has to move to Staten Island now. And we rightly think of like, fuck you. You live in a dynamic metropolis that changes all the time, and that's not a great instinct, and we shouldn't pander to it, right?
But gentrification has a very particular complexion. Use that word advisedly. In that it is generally people moving in who are increasing the value of the homes and the community.
Are you saying that our migrant friends don't increase the value?
If 20 people
I
move
am.
in, if 20 people,
I'm not a moron.
If 20 I know the answer to that.
if 20 people move into the brownstone next door, where 3 or 4 people used to live before, that is a different sort of
fucking killer
economic
empanadas is what I hear.
circumstance. It's
There's not going to be a leaf on your lawn.
I remember
It's gonna play
early
differently.
in like 2002 or 3, Michelle Malkin, God rest her soul.
Oh God.
Was
Who became like
She's not
she was
dead.
like an OG gripe. She became like a crazy racist.
I think
gripe.
she's
literally.
I think she's now.
Nick Fuentes
I think she's
racist.
now on a Maha kick, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that makes sense.
It does. Anyways, Michelle Malkin, who was a Reason intern.
Is that right?
Wow.
1,000 years
Congratulations.
ago. Yes.
Yeah.
I think, hopefully I'm not slandering my employer, but I'm pretty sure she did at least a tiny bit as a child. Anyways, she wrote a book called, I think, Invasion or something.
Subtle. Not as subtle as In Defensive Internment.
Yeah, she was
One
on
of her other
she was
subtle
on
books,
on a post 9/11 spree, and I went to hear her talk in, I want to say like Westwood or some West LA area in 2002, 2003, 2004, probably 3. And she was funny that she's a small person talking very quietly.
Trying to say Asian? Okay.
Yep, Filipino even. So like
Yeah, really. The Ecuadorians of the Orient.
It's fine. This is all fine.
it's members only, right?
Yeah. No, it's not. Unlocked.
Damn it! How do we?
Yeah.
That means the top is staying.
Unemployed
by the
is going
way.
to be mine. Yeah.
Anyways, the thesis of the book was that 9/11 showed us that the southern border is not secure, and that Islamic jihadis are definitely going to be coming in, and we have to protect against that. That was the main thesis of the book. Remember, was the Golden Triangle or some Devil's Triangle in like Ecuador, where
Didn't really work out.
it didn't work out, but it was a thesis, and like you're making an argument, and we were all kind of hepped up about protecting the homeland at the time. And so she gives her little talk about the book. And the first question from the audience, which immediately has everyone like, yeah, is, well, I look over here and all the signs of this mini mall, they're Mexican and they're in, none of them are in English anymore. And everyone's like, yes. And it was that. So I went there like waiting for a respectful hearing about her ideas about national security. But in fact, the thing that was absolutely animating the people there was that. It was like, I don't like the...
It used to be, I don't want to be the person who has to press 2. Whereas it tells you to press 2 on the thing. Or like on the ATM
English,
screen, it was like, do you want to...
And I understand...
Which you love when you're in Europe, by the way.
I understand it a lot more in theory in places like Long Island if I would ever go or be invited to such a place. But
it's really for rich people in Mexico.
But like LA, are we complaining about like language signs in LA or New York City? That is what I don't understand. It's like part of the
thing
deal
about
is...
it's everybody has this everywhere in the world. I always make this point. no country likes migrants from their neighboring country. You cannot
This is
find
true.
a place in the world when they're like really happy that these people are coming from Swaziland.
Especially those
and
fucking
it doesn't make a
Canadians.
difference where it is. But it is, you do have a frustration when you're trying to transact business and you can't ask an employee because you can't get a response. This is the opposite of what happens when you're in Europe, where the person who is transacting the business is mad at the customer because you're in Paris and you don't speak French very well. And it's like, no, the other way around, where everyone is speaking the common language. This is increasingly happening in Europe too. And when they try to get some version of customer service, the person they can't respond to them. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. And you go around, you do this 3 times, and it's like, really? And if you don't think about politics and anything more than what your daily life is, that's annoying. And politics is mostly things that annoy you. I mean, for the average person, it's what annoys you. Howard Stern decided a long time ago when he lived in Long Island that he was going to run for mayor of New York as a libertarian, actually. And his whole thing was, number one thing was to make sure the construction happened at like 1 a.m. on the Long Island Expressway because it took him so long to get to work. His annoyance was going to precipitate a run for governor or mayor or whatever. And that's mostly what politics is. I mean, we have these debates. What about the Groypers and this? And it's like, you're talking to a very narrow band of people who care about this stuff. And I think it's important. And I think these people are scumbags and you should fight them. But the average person has not any inkling of what can be done. I mean, the number of people who voted for Zoran who believe that the mayor of New York can just do all these magical things that he needs Albany for, or at the very, very bare minimum, the city council, is that they don't understand that. And there are people who went to fucking Yale and Princeton and live in $4 million brownstones. The average person doesn't understand it. It's just, what is the problem around me and who is going to fix it? And the problem can often be like, I don't understand these people. And I used to understand everyone, and they have this Mayberry in their head, which is remembering a place that never really existed, which is like when every time I talked to, and I mentioned this before, people at a Trump rally, they would always be like, I just have, I'm just not a fan of it. And I get called racist. Not a single one has ever been called racist. It's just kind of the instinct, is what they feel, that if they did say what they believed, they would be called that because of, what they read on Facebook or whatever. It might be true too. But that kind of thing is like the perception versus like actual policy stuff. Nobody cares. And that's immigration. Look at the numbers on immigration. You see Trump's numbers dipping pretty precipitously. And that's on enforcement, not on the idea. The idea that they're fine with. Everyone's fine with that.
Did you see he's pulling, or the DHS or whoever is pulling certain immigrants out of naturalization ceremonies?
In Boston, I saw that, yeah.
It's in Boston?
I went to a naturalization service at the place that I think that was being done was at Faneuil Hall in Boston. Perfect revolutionary seat right there.
I mean, that's where you want to see it happen. That is so despicable. Like, if you haven't been to a naturalization ceremony.
Is this real? We know the story's real. It sounds almost too good to be true.
It sounds almost too good.
Too bad to be true, but yeah.
Too good to be true. But I think it's also New York Times is the root of the reporting.
I don't remember which publication I saw it in, but it is certainly of a piece with the current policy of the administration, which is to target people on the basis of their country of origin to either obstruct or otherwise disrupt their attempts to become naturalized citizens or to immigrate to this country on the basis, again, of where they come from. So
And
this
also-
is a kind of
and also
collective guilt.
And also using their dates to show, and this is what triggered the LA protests against ICE originally, is that people were showing up to their regularly scheduled check-in
Proceedings,
meetings and then being led away in handcuffs, and everyone was getting distressed about it. So you're going to your naturalization ceremony, like, that's when you pick them? That's fucking dastardly shit.
The idea that what happened under Biden, which you see in this Times article, no matter what you think about America's immigration policy or what it should be, it is pretty jarring, actually. I mean, obviously jarring enough that the Times let this through. And the journalist is like, not thumbing the scale. And, everybody's quoted. There's like one maybe conservative or Republican quoted in the whole thing. But when you see the sheer scale of it, you realize that contra some of our friends at the Cato Institute, et cetera, this is not a sustainable policy for economic reasons, cultural reasons, and a million other. And, when Trump's smartest policy at the beginning of immigration was the Remain in Mexico policy, because even the Biden administration ultimately realizes that the asylum claims is the loophole. I mean, a lot of people coming from countries, every single one of them that you can think of, if it's El Salvador, Ecuador, Venezuela, there are real horrible problems with gangs and all that stuff. And you say, I'm just being targeted. And all right, well, go out, do your thing, and we'll call you for a hearing in a year or something. The Remain in Mexico policy is really testing somebody's commitment to get into the United States, too. It's like you got to wait there. And of course, the thing that is not written about in this piece, but there's a lot of journalism about it, the Mexicans didn't want them.
No.
You had riots in Tijuana because of migrants in Tijuana, riots attacking them, as there were in border countries in Colombia and Brazil about Venezuelan migrants. It's nothing to do with race.
Yeah.
There are going to be people who are racist about it. And, I don't even think necessarily it's like de facto racist if Donald Trump says, we want people from Norway. It could be very racist, but it could also be like, we know they're very highly educated and highly skilled. That's another thing you can
Him
say
singling out only white South Africans to be refugees.
That's because of the genocide.
That's because of the genocide, Matt, right? The Holocaust didn't happen. It was exaggerated, but the one in South Africa is real. No, that's responding to a fucking meme culture.
Yeah, because they've also taken up the cause of Christian Nigerians who are being persecuted there, murdered, according to the administration. Not that there haven't been some murders. It's just a question of kind of volume and stakes.
Well, where was the one the other day? But there's all this satellite footage of unbelievable brutality. Was it? I don't know if it was. I want to say Somalia, but then I'm thinking of Minnesota, which that targeting is kind of crazy too.
Yeah,
that is, Chris Rufo writes something, and then,
Armin Rosen also.
It got less attention.
But I think that was the root. Good journalism about it was him in Country Highway, which is now online, his piece at least.
Yeah, because he said, because he got in some spat with Walter Kern, easy to get in a spat with Walter Kern.
Armin did?
No, Chris Rufo.
Rufo, okay.
And he was like, well, we added to the story by saying they were funding al-Shabaab. They were taking that money, because that's the extra step that makes it especially sinister. I don't know if it's true. I haven't looked into it. But that money is being spirited out of the U.S. into the pockets of insane jihadists in East Africa.
I think one through line in the kind of immigration story and some other things we've seen in New York and elsewhere is that, and this is a problem that a lot of people on my broader side of being libertarian towards these things, I think have not grappled with forthrightly, is that disorder is bad. Disorder is not vindicating people's rights. Like Mamdani, 5 days ago or so, said he's going to stop police sweeps of homeless encampments in New York City. Again, New York City, we have a right to shelter. When Kmele gets homeless next week, he has a right to a shelter bed, as long as he puts up with some minimal rules, and it's fine.
No drinking.
I just don't know why I'm homeless next week.
Well, we got a plan.
Okay.
Just hang on.
Remember the last episode? They saw it, by the way.
Who?
The listeners and viewers.
What?
Like at the very last bit, Kmele took a shot
and
drained his glass.
And
they could tell. They're like, his eyes went to a dark fucking place.
Yeah, he was like the Tara Reid of this podcast. He'd be fucking carried out of here. Yeah.
Self-roofing.
I just tried to finish.
Yeah.
I just tried to finish the drink.
I want to say Tara Reid, by the way, that is my favorite story. Because, she's the American Pie, was that she was in?
Oh,
she's in American Pie.
Yeah.
She said she was drugged. And the police get involved and investigate. But, because it's a huge star like Tara Reid. And also, I think the name of the woman who accused Joe Biden of molesting her, right?
Yeah.
Who defected to Russia.
That's where I got a little confused.
Yeah, it's confusing.
There,
And the restaurant or hotel or casino, the police said there was no evidence of this. And they released all the security cam video. It's unbelievable. It's like, oh, you know what you did? You drank 700 drinks, and everyone's just like drinking, like just filling up, just knocking another one back. And she's like, oh, it was drugs, and it was like, you were self-drugged. I guess that's drugs. But another story on the same. It's members only. I can go to fucking stupid places. There was a story in the New York Post today, America's finest newspaper, about a Mexican restaurant, like a high-end Mexican restaurant, like a little taco place in Tribeca, and all of these women who said that they had a couple of margaritas and they were like blackout drunk. And they were like, you know, I saw someone else said this on Yelp. And of course, now it's a story. This poor guy who owns it is like, none of this is true. And if you read the story, it's the most amazing thing is a woman is like, I blacked out. I like one drink. You didn't have fucking one drink. Come on, you didn't have one drink. And the restaurant's like, we have the receipts. We can tell you what they're just pouring strong drinks, I'm sure. And the woman is like, I woke up and next to my bed, there was a cup of water and I never used that cup. And I was like, what happened? And then there's a little bit more text. And then afterwards it says, she later found out that her neighbor found her passed out in the vestibule, put her in the bed and got her a glass of water. And I was like, oh my God, I thought it was
punishing
fucking
kindness
Diddy.
now.
Yeah. I was like, man, the guy's trying to help me. I was in the fucking newspaper.
This reminds me, and this is also a recommendation for that unnecessary for our Silver Lake, California residents because they already know, but maybe people from Southern California. Very close to where we interviewed Jason Leopold.
Yeah.
There is a Mexican restaurant called Casita del Campo, and it is famous for being a restaurant that was owned by one of the dancers in West Side Story. It has all these great.
So an Italian.
Yeah, Italian. And
there's not a Mexican within 100 miles of that movie.
Well, also because they serve what everybody just the vernacular refers to as LSD margaritas. Oh. Because if you have two, and I'm talking about if you have two.
No,
I swear,
no way.
Two big margaritas here, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to wander into traffic, like weird shit's going to happen. I saw
I had a real fun night last week, and I think I'm not even joking, I think I had like 10 drinks, and I was drunk for sure, but I got home fine, and I was like, you know, and when I came,
drove, it's fine.
No, it's self-driving. No, thanks, Elon. No, I can handle it.
You do have to keep your hands on the wheel.
I have no skills in life, Matt, but this is one of them. I can manage it.
Should we talk about, or maybe save this for later? Should we talk about the what is the proper way to describe this?
What?
The restructuring of the Pentagon press corps, because we haven't really talked about that yet at all.
Oh yeah,
the reconstitution.
Doing a great job, those guys.
Matt Gates is the
Matt
Pentagon.
Gates.
He's wearing his congressman jacket. It's like
a number. Of,
can I give a shout out to Laura Loomer? I've never said anything positive about her.
You kind of have recently.
Have I?
I think so. A couple times.
What did I say?
I don't know. Hot.
No.
that
Hot?
No, that she was,
I guess I can't handle my booze.
She was like giving like Candace Owens or whoever like a hard time.
Yeah. But that's like because it's she wants a different type of crazy. Like she's a 9/11 truther. She just doesn't think the Jews did it.
Yeah.
Because she would have been informed, I think she thinks. But no, there was a press conference and she asked a good question.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she asked like a good question and like a follow-up. It was like a normal question. And I was like, oh,
get rid of her.
She's fucking with us. But otherwise, there are guys who were like 19, like in the crouch, like holding each other's hands. You know that thing? Like the ground. And they're all from places that no one's ever heard of. Like outlets that no one's ever heard of. It's
You've never heard of O'Keefe Media?
No, I have. Yeah, that's the great James O'Keefe. Yeah, the dancer. Right?
I was reading one account. I think this is from Mediaite actually, of Cam Higbee, who asks the press secretary a question, and he says, "In your mind, what is the purpose of the Pentagon press corps?" Because it seems to be that a lot of people online, including the former press corps, who have been tweeting with me, think that the purpose of the press corps is just to gather classified information and release it to the public. It seems like if you're an American journalist, you're not a Chinese spy. Mm-hmm. Why would that be your purpose? Why would that be the purpose of your job? I mean, how do you see it?
Yeah.
To which Higbee responds, Yeah, no, it's a great question. I
Yeah,
think
it's,
the most.
it's in fact not a great question.
The best
It's
question.
it is not a great. It is
You
the best
imagine
question.
that on your first day.
Yeah. It's all that's what the fucking Trump, like, it's not even a cabinet meeting. It's just when they have cameras in there and you have one person after another be like, Mr.
President,
Trump,
you are the greatest, sir.
first of all, I love what you're wearing. It's great. I love what is
Did
that?
you see?
Hi.
Did you see Kristi Noem this past week said like, "Thank you for having making sure there's no hurricanes during hurricane season."
Did she
She
say
was
that?
fucking around, right?
Well, of course.
But she was kidding, right?
I need to see it.
I mean, they do
we
control the
find
weather. She was thanking the Jews. Thank you, Jews, for not giving us any
I
hurricanes.
did see reporting that she's on the bubble.
Yeah, I saw that on Drudge. That
Yeah.
that kind of thinly sourced, but like
Yeah.
maybe she might be.
One of the all-time classic tweets.
It would be Glenn Youngkin was the reporting that would replace her.
Oh,
That was the rumor. It's a rumor.
Interesting.
Who knows?
Well, I mean, that would probably be an improvement.
Yeah.
It is interesting,
No,
though,
for sure.
that the week that the new press corps takes the reins is a week when the Trump administration could desperately use it. I mean, the Pentagon was under profound fire on account of the
profound
the
fire.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No,
the thing.
on account of the profound fire.
Yeah, well,
that
that's
they're
just it.
training
Yeah,
on
the
fucking
double
boats.
tap attacks on these boats, and the controversy created by all of that. It's just been a
He wasn't in the room.
strange
Camille.
couple of weeks. Who Hexon?
Yeah, he wasn't
Well,
there.
it's the strangest thing
He was like,
because
I
the
gotta- I
reporting
gotta
just
take a
keeps
slash
evolving
over
on
there.
this.
Yeah.
Like initially, they acknowledged that the double tap attack happened, but of course they didn't acknowledge that before. But they say that the reason it happened was to clear out the debris. But the most recent reporting, based on the testimony to Congress,
This video that people have seen.
in the video is
Not us, not the-
yeah, I mean we did do it twice, but that's
They're
because
waving their arms. And
They were in
stuff.
their arms.
maybe
Yeah.
they were still
They're like, we're not drugs.
the
Yeah, it's
drugs,
like,
the
gotta
drugs
yeah.
could have
Kill 'em.
still be obtained.
Did you see Tom Cotton's like, well, you know, there was a shipping hazard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to clear them out.
Well, that's what we
Have
heard
you been to the
before. Yeah.
ocean?
yeah. I've been out in the ocean. Yeah.
You know what's not a shipping hazard? A single half exploded
sinking boat.
boat.
Yeah.
That you've like a fucking
I think mostly
a dinghy.
exploded boat.
a mostly
right?
exploded boat.
And
yeah.
it was like, well, they're signaling to the other boat. Okay, well then just wait for the other boat to come and then take that one out if that's what you're saying, because that was one of the excuses.
Or just say, you know what, I could take you out, but I have overwhelming force of arms and you don't. And you don't want to die. So you will surrender. That's what they normally do.
The interview is also bizarre because he's being confronted with all sorts of just particular facts and asked basic questions about what's going on here.
Yeah.
Did you know that the boat wasn't in fact heading to the United States? Like
It was going to
there-
Suriname.
was there-
And that apparently is a transit point to Europe
it's a
and
route
Africa
to Europe. Yeah.
for drugs.
Yeah.
We're just doing it on behalf of the Europeans, which we then released a document about how much we hate them.
I'm sorry. Why do you love fentanyl?
Yeah. I like it because it's not made in Venezuela. I don't like to support the Venezuelan regime. Yeah, it's not clear that there's any fentanyl. We're so far from the initial questions that you ask in something like this to actually make sure that these insane strikes are actually in any way reasonable, that these people are drug traffickers. It'd be great to pick them up and not blow them up after you've blown up
Maybe
their
to
boat.
interrogate the quote narco terrorist.
The narco terrorist who is like a fucking fisherman who's
So
like,
you're going to give Miranda rights to these people who are killing our children on the
No,
street?
you interrogate
Why
them if they're
are-
a threat to the
aren't we
homeland.
right back at Guantanamo?
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
the exact
and it's the
same
same
thing.
people. And like in the case of Tom Cotton, it's like literally the same people. He came a little bit later, but he was. Don't
But
forget.
that's a rare one in the sense that the others, and you saw Pete Hegseth's, I think it was his first like press conference, just him. And I don't know how many times he mentioned neocons. And then he goes minutes later and is defending, potentially invading Venezuela, blowing up these boats. You can't Mirandize terrorists and everything. And it's like, what is a neocon to you? A Jew? Is that what you're saying? Just be honest.
Well, neocons have more ambition, and this actually comes up in the.
Yeah, but that's not what they mean. That's not what they mean.
I think it kind of is, though. I'm going to, in one sense, the Trump administration came out with its national security strategy document. Administrations are kind of obliged to do this every year or every 2 years, I forget. and it's fascinating reading.
Oh my God, it's wild.
It's wild. It's a ride, and clearly there's a lot of different people who had some influence on it. But
mostly LLMs.
they, other people don't rely on LLMs as heavily as some other people. Camille,
I don't think anybody wrote that.
at any rate, no. There's actually some flourishes of language that you could say, okay, Marco, I see you, and some other people,
Michael Anton.
But they make a big point of when they're talking about the Middle East, they're like, our default should be non-intervention. America has asserted this primary role. We no longer need to do that anymore because of oil and some other reasons. I actually kind of liked certain parts of the section, but they also like neocons are the big problem and all these people who wanted to do nation building. We shouldn't be telling other countries what to do and then like wait a beat. Except for Europe.
Yeah.
They're having civilizational erasure by letting immigrants in, like fucking crazy difference. But
I mean, there's attack on a lot of things in Europe, though. I mean, the free speech stuff. I mean, all stuff that is actually concerning, and I agree with.
Genuinely,
but the one about like European governments are suppressing their citizens' actual anti-Russia Ukraine war sentiment.
Yes.
And so. Yes.
Okay, I follow.
And so
they don't mean Europe, they mean Romania. They're talking about the election in Romania. That's narrowly what they're talking about.
But I think also some of the more nationalist parties who tend to be more.
But the overturning in that verdict about they're talking about Romania.
But they asserted in this document a Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. They basically have declared that this hemisphere, we are going to do whatever the fuck we want to do.
Was it Slovenia or Romania? I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's Romania.
It was Romania.
And
I just had a Robert Fico moment, but go ahead,
which is Slovakia.
Yeah, Slovakia. Well, that's the same shit. Like, fucking get a different name. Stop fucking confusing me. God, it's not like Australia and Austria.
Started on fucking
they're right next to each other.
Macedonia. The fuck's sake. But they want to do whatever they want in the Caribbean and in these waters. So we will be fully neocon on this one point. Yeah. We'll be a neocon towards Canada, towards Greenland, especially Venezuela.
Well, they mentioned the Monroe Doctrine.
I mean, it's the Trump corollary of the Monroe Doctrine. And they're explicit about this. So like neocon is on here. Yeah. It is off in the Middle East, although we're not going to allow any adversary, not really defined, to like take control there.
Although we did bomb Iran.
But that also sort of degraded them. And also, every page and a half, they're like, and by the way, Trump is the greatest peace president in history, and he solved 8 wars in 8 months.
He did get the FIFA prize.
FIFA prize.
Got the FIFA prize.
Who was last year's FIFA prize?
Nobody.
Right, exactly. There's only one FIFA prize. Yeah.
Did you see he actually did Trump did? Yeah. Like, I'm thinking that that's football. We should call it football. That's the real football.
No, it was the most anti-American I've ever seen him. It was a disgrace to the American people.
I mean, this is
he's like the fucking Rosenbergs after he said that. Put him in the chair.
One time in 5 years, I will say, Matthew Iglesias said something that we should repeat on the podcast. And he's like, if a Democratic president would have said that, there would have been impeachment proceedings within a week. And I
think that's true.
That's totally true.
Just can't be saying that voice. No, that's true. No, but
Jason, can we get Matt over here, please? Iglesias. Let's get him on the podcast because this has to stop. This is unfair.
He needs to wear the same coat that he wore when they interviewed Obama for the debut of Vox.
Did he have like a raccoon coat from the 30s?
It was like, and granted, like, there's been some comments about how I dress for Karen Bass, and I hear you, I see.
Well, there are other than just me?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
But it was like a red and white checkered plaid. It's amazing.
But the Monroe Doctrine stuff is funny because it also allows them to have the position on Russia, right? That's your near abroad. That's your sphere of influence. And it's totally fine. What you do there, and by the way, you have these things. It reminded me reading bits of that, of like the drunk guy at the bar who like is starting a fight with this little weakling. And then the big guy walks in and is like, he's like, oh, sorry, dude, like backs up. It's like, I just want to beat up little kids. And that's what they're doing with Europe about free speech. It's like, you don't have any opinion on Russia on this issue? Like none?
Their only opinion
seriously? None?
expressed on Russia was was that they need to solve the crisis and create more stability with Russia so that Europe has more self-respect. Like, it sounds as crazy as that, and it pretty much is as crazy. Like, they have this image of European states. They need to align with one another and create mutual defense. But the EU is evil and needs to be stopped. And we are going to cultivate opposition to the EU within European countries. There was
by supporting Front National or National Rally or whatever in these far right parties, right? I mean, that's the idea.
And this was like a common complaint of people who are ostensibly anti-neocon, and a common complaint from me as well for a really long time. Don't say which parties you're going to support and cultivate in opposition parties towards a goal, unless you are talking about a totalitarian country. And even then, as in the case of the Cold War, it's not like Charter 77 got a plane full of cash. It did not. Pointedly so, because that would have made them less effective to do that. But the Trump administration is saying not just in Europe we're going to like help these nationalist parties, but also in Latin America, any party and politician who wants to help make sure that they're rejecting China. They don't really name it, but it's obviously China, and allow for American companies to come and do things. Then we're going to cultivate that support. It's like, it's payoff. We're thumbing scales across the globe. And we're doing it also to make up for the fact that we have tariffed them into the arms of China.
Yeah, and Trump met with farmers today to give them a bailout. Thanks, Trump, for creating the problem and then trying to solve the own problem, the arsonist and the fireman.
The problem precipitated by the tariffs.
By the tariffs, yeah. And there's, of course, elements of the Europe stuff that I'm like, I think I agree with that. Why that is codified as American policy is insane to me, because it's basically J.D. Vance's Munich Security Conference speech in a digest form as official American policy.
And also saying that like they're going to be majority non-European countries within 20 years because of immigrants, and therefore they're not going to be reliable as NATO allies.
Which is I don't think that's going to happen. But I will not defend them, but I'll attack Europe on one particular thing. There was a piece, I think, in the Times of the Wall Street Journal that was a list of all the people, various elected officials in various countries in Germany and France, et cetera, saying how outraged they were at this language. How do they talk about us this way? It's like, motherfucker, you've been talking about the United States that way since 1946, and a lot earlier, but in a way that is in every newspaper, is from the lips of every leader. It's like he's slightly less diplomatic about it and putting it in this policy, which I completely reject. I think it's a bad idea. And that kind of thing where we shouldn't be interfering with the policies and politics of other countries until we should, right? I mean, you're either a non-interventionist kind of like soft touch America, light footprint around the globe, and then there's these cultural issues that this was a document for Twitter. I mean, this is for Twitter people. This is what that entire thing was, a series of tweets in a more coherent form.
Many bullet points.
Many bullet points. Yeah, in that, like,
it's an Axios
but
story.
I don't want to fucking hear from, the vice chancellor of Germany that how outraged they are by this, when these are nations, particularly when they're ruled by other particular parties, not the AfD type parties, but SPD and Die Linke and Die Grünen and all these people that are in coalitions, they fucking hate America, and they're very open about it. Very, very open about it. And to express this outrage now, it's like, go fuck yourself.
And was Trump the architect of this particular statement, though? Is that really the belief?
It has
do
an
we suspect
introduction
he's
by
even
him.
Yeah.
Introduction and again the periodic, like, obviously he's the greatest peace president ever, etc. And it is his administration's attempt to craft, and it's a remarkable document that I think everyone who's interested in the issues should absolutely read, because it is a signpost that we are definitively going away from the order that obtained for 75 years, and we're transitioning into something new.
Which is for Europe and for a domestic audience. This is a policy document that says that Republican Party that you used to know is so very dead. You see it every day that it's dead, but we are codifying this in policy that is completely dead. And that's why you pepper it with the phrase neocon, right? It's like that is over. There's Ted Cruz left. But you know what? You also take that document and you put it on one screen and you put fucking Harry Enton on the other one, right?
Yeah.
And look at the numbers that are staring them in the face. And there's not a single person, this happens always in politics, and you see this in the Joe Biden story about immigration, is that their preferred policy, prescriptions, narratives, they refuse to back down from because it's so core and central who the new version of the Democratic Party are. And they just can't walk away from it, and so much they lose the election. We're seeing a Republican version of that too, because they're so married to this kind of Vance shit-talking fucking Hegseth doing like memes about killing people in the ocean. Like it's like a sickness. And they do this and America hates it.
And also America supports Ukraine and not Russia.
Correct.
Just does.
Correct.
And,
because we have a habit of hating the Russians.
And I have a habit
well-informed one too.
Of taking the side of the people who are defending themselves against unprovoked attack.
Yeah.
It's kind of basic. And Trump has moved the needle within the Republican coalition a little bit on that, but only a little bit. Like those numbers are pretty big.
On the Ukraine stuff, I mean, it's interesting because it's not about, for Trump, Tucker Carlson type stuff that I see the world of Walton Mearsheimer, that's Trump's. It's not his worldview at all.
He's got that great paragraph that I will embrace pragmatism, or we'll be pragmatic without becoming pragmatists. We'll have realistic vision without becoming realists. So like we'll do these things, but we're not going to fall into your categories. And at the end of it, it's just sort of like the only thing that really matters is America first. It's like whatever Trump says.
Or what really matters in this case is that it ends and he's seen to be the person who ended it. And when he looks at this game of Stratego, he sees that the Ukrainians, as he phrased it, very Trumpian, they have no cards. They, in fact, have a lot of cards, actually. But you have in Trump's world, they don't have any cards. You have to negotiate. You have to give away territory, and you have to do this through me. I'm like the pharmacy benefit manager. I'm the PBM of this intermediary that's going to make this happen. I mean, Europeans are trying this too, and they just shit on them all the time because the Europeans are right about this. And like, how do we secure Ukraine's future? How do we give them security guarantees? Let's not give them land that they haven't even yet taken, despite the fact that they've lost a couple 100,000 men. Like that is normal stuff. But when Trump looks at this, it's like you don't have a chance, so you have to lose because you're losing, right? And the loss is not what the Russians expected it to be, right? But you need to do it now. And he's getting frustrated with them because he's like, you're not going to win. So make the deal because I need the credit for the deal.
Yeah.
And that's literally all he cares about. I mean, the people at FIFA understood, make up a fucking prize and give it to him. He's like a child. It's like literally give the man prizes. And he's annoyed at the Nobel Committee, and he's annoyed at the Norwegians for not giving him a peace prize. And that's manifested itself in a number of ways. And a number of people have said this. He's pissed off about this because he thinks you should get the Nobel Peace Prize. It's like he's like a toddler who's like, he has all the money. He wants power. He's got the most power in the world. I just want recognition and prizes now. And he wants that in Ukraine. And he doesn't, it's not like he's pro-Russia any more than he is pro-Zelensky. I mean, there were times when he was cozying up to Zelensky because Moscow was pissing him off by not getting to the end of this. He's like, you guys get to the end of this. I'm going to give you everything you want. I'm going to help facilitate everything that you want, which he's basically said. And the witless Steve Witkoff has said the same thing. But you're not going fast enough, so I'm pissed off at you. But now he's pissed off at Zelensky because it's like, your move. Just sign this stuff. And
Zelensky said today that they're not giving up territory.
I mean, they are giving up territory, but they're not giving up that territory.
That territory.
Yeah,
they'll give up Crimea eventually.
Yeah, that's a lost cause. And that was something that the Obama administration wrote off and the first Trump administration wrote. It's been written off by 3 presidents now. So there's no going back, unfortunately.
The great kind of through line, ultimately Achilles heel, I think, with Trump, and it's shot through this document, is that we are going to use tariffs to make sure people are playing fair and also we're going to use tariffs to make sure that we're going to be more competitive, and we're going to use tariffs to convince people to buy American. Like, none of it makes sense. He just wants to use tariffs.
Yeah.
And he thinks you can tariff your way to prosperity and tariff your way to diplomacy. And both things are so self-evidently untrue. And at some point, this is going to, and the point is now, like, people are going to notice that they have less take-home pay, and that sucks. No one likes it as American consumers and voters. But also other countries that you're dealing with, he spends a lot of time in the document, like, trying to sort of beseech certainly Latin American countries, but also in the East Asian countries, like, they need to partner with American AI and American stuff, and we'll, like, offer them sort of carrots and sticks. Like, dude, you just brought the stick. Like, you showed up and you brought the stick of tariffs. And what is that going to do with almost everybody? Is going to make them look for other partners to engage with, and they're the exact people that you're trying to disengage them with. He believes so strongly that trade imbalances are the enemy and that tariffs are good, that he just can't waver from that and can't respond to, besides, like, throwing $12 billion at farmers here and doing this and doing that, he can't respond to the new information that is created by that.
I mean, putting these fucking Band-Aids on the wounds that he created are amazing. And before I want to go, just a quick plug. We will have on this show this week an interview with the great Kevin O'Leary, now film star of the new Safdie brothers, or one of the Safdie's movies, and the star of Shark Tank, who is supposed to be really mean. That was why they hired him on the show. Fucking nicest guy in the world. Fascinating, big xenophobe, and was really interesting on tariffs. Most of his companies involve something that is going to be tariffed. And he's a watch collector, so talking about trying to get watches. I'm not going to buy watches from Switzerland now because it's like a 60% tariff.
He's tariff skeptical?
His idea, I think he's more tariff skeptical than he lets on because he's a diplomat.
Certainly than the last time I talked to him about it on CNN.
And well, he's
sounds like
his idea, and watch the episode.
Okay.
But he says more or less that we're going to get to a place of reciprocal tariffs, and that's where we should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's
good luck with that. It's not going to happen.
That's fine, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But it was a great episode.
So strange that you got along with someone named O'Leary.
he did.
Oh my God! I really understood what it was like. I understand. You hear the thing like two black people walking in rooms, all white people, and they nod at each other. I've heard about this. O'Leary came in, and I was like, I don't care what you think. I'm on your side. You fucking filthy Mick. It was great. No, really, really good guy.
Was he wearing two watches?
No, he was wearing a smoking jacket and bedazzled slippers.
Huh.
No
Okay.
kidding. Yeah.
All right.
It was a look.
Boss
I
move.
felt
Okay.
I wore a jacket because he's a business guy. I was trying to pitch him something.
Huh.
Yeah.
That was your
Yeah.
first mistake.
I pitched him a couple things.
Yeah.
I think he was skeptical. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was all about
You need
prostitution.
to have
but-
us to be on board with selling steaks in the fifth column. We talked
Oh
about
yeah,
this.
yeah. The fifth column, fifth vodka, like just do exact Trump copies.
Fifth coin.
Fifth
Bring it
steaks.
back. Yeah. Kevin O'Leary. Huh. Well, I suppose what will finally straighten out the tariff situation is the checks, the rebate checks, which should be going out early next year. How many different things will be funded by the tariff revenue? It would be
Thanks for the
like
inflation.
negative
by the way.
300% on
Yeah.
the tariffs
Sending
by the
checks
end of
to
this.
everybody is not inflationary at all.
Yeah, it's
But,
fine.
I love the intellectual habit, and I use that term in scare quotes, of people like, well, actually, it would be better to have tariffs replace the income tax.
Well, he has suggested it as much eventually.
many, many times, but
Yeah.
like, it's the other people
It's just
giving him
not
cover
happening.
on that. It's like,
Yeah, don't you love Republicans who are like, you see how much money we brought in? And I'm like, yeah, you tax people. Like, amazing. Yeah, do you want more tax? We can get that number even higher.
that
You
number
tax
is
more people.
never going to be as high as taxes.
No, never going to be as high as taxes. What time? How long we
We
been
should
going?
probably wrap in a minute.
right.
Shout out to Alina Haba, who's newly
right.
unemployed. You should come by the
Oh, yeah.
podcast. It'd be nice. You can
Yeah,
have her
get
sit
her
right
on.
there. I'll sit here.
Yeah.
Just chop it up.
Court doesn't matter.
See what's
here.
going on.
Court didn't say
matter.
you couldn't come here.
Just want to talk.
Didn't say you're unqualified for this podcast.
That's
No,
right.
super qualified for this
Super
podcast.
qualified. We should
Very
get her.
the
and then-
most qualified.
Who's the dummy that fucked up the Comey case? The real estate lawyer?
Oh,
What's her name?
I don't remember.
Sexy McGinty, whatever her name is, I can't remember. She's great.
Very qualified.
She went into court with like a low cut shirt. She's like, I was like, it's not a fucking Instagram reel. Just make an argument.
Oh gosh.
What's her name?
We've asked.
We've asked.
Sexy
We've
McGinty.
asked Habibi. Oh God, my Habibi,
Let's
come
go.
on. Yeah, we got to get her on.
Okay.
That'd be great. What are the other? Are there any other sexy Trump people we get on? Oh, we met the sexiest of them all.
We did.
Don't. Shh.
Yeah, you can't.
It's
Don't say
okay.
her name.
Just
Can't
say
say
it
her
just
name.
met her. I'm not saying we didn't hung out with her. We just met her. She's
Yeah.
very nice.
It's super nice.
She offered to get me a glass of wine.
Yeah.
I love that girl. We don't even talk about who we're talking about.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It does not
she-
matter.
she is-
I saw you.
she's my queen.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is that? And then I went over.
Yeah.
And I was like, is there booze up here? And she was like, no, I can go get you a glass of wine. And I was like, baby, I'm good. I get you a glass of wine. Yeah. She's a babe, though, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Can we acknowledge she was a babe?
This is pretty good.
What
Strong.
is wrong with you? Oh,
I mean, I'm doing well. Is the thing.
it's not about you. It's
I'm
not
just
about the
saying.
people you're with.
By comparison, I'm
What do you
doing
like?
well.
I had a great meal. You got another good meal.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
like,
but
oh,
I
you eat the
I
same
can't-
meal over and over.
No,
It's
I
still
only,
a good meal.
I only
okay.
eat one thing. I have one
God.
particular meal. That's fine.
You have
and I'm
one meal.
Content with it. Yes, it's
You're
delicious.
content with that meal.
Delicious. That's the only thing I
How is
want
that?
to
But
eat. It's the only
they-
thing I know how to eat. Let me
You
be
don't
very
get
clear
sick of
about
meals?
this. No, never,
You never get sick of meals?
never, and I'll never go on a diet. Always seconds
Oh my
and thirds.
God.
It's fine.
I think you
I'm
and
feeling-
Benny
we should wrap
Johnson
this
have
up.
something in common.
Feeling
We should wrap this
unsafe.
We should wrap this up. It's fine.
What? I don't wrap it up. It's a very important issue. People want to hear about it. I like variety.
Dietary.
I like the Epcot Center of different countries. Come on, man. Really?
Oh
right,
God.
that's
Okay. Well, this is a marvelous travesty. But we have to do this again later in the week.
A couple times.
Norway. Yeah, I
times.
suppose so.
Oh, wait. We're
Although-
doing the...
Yeah.
Tell them.
Oh,
It's
we
fine.
can't tell them.
Yeah.
All right, I
We're
can get
we're
their
always doing the
assistance
same
on
thing.
that matter.
Yeah.
But will this come out in time?
No.
All
Nah,
not
it's
before
fine.
we record the other one.
No.
When are we recording tomorrow?
I don't know.
All right, we'll figure it out.
It's
Why are we
ca-
conducting business? It will come
Yeah.
out. Yeah, we're going to do a year-end episode. That's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. So
And we want to talk about some of the stuff that,
Michael got wrong.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I haven't
Yeah.
gotten anything wrong this year.
Except for that whole one meal thing. Like, what the fuck is that? That's ridiculous.
it's delicious.
That's ridiculous.
Delicious and
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah, you sound like you're talking to your Vietnamese captors. It's delicious.
Sure.
It's
I'm,
so
fine with, I'm
healthy.
fine with that. Whatever it
Yeah,
is.
poking the Kalashnikov in his back. Talk. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one final thing. We haven't done an episode with the three of us. We've heard you.
Yes.
We've wanted to do the same thing. We had so many guests that piled up. They wanted to do all those too. But don't think in any way that this is a change of tactics in any way. No, it's exactly. We'll be doing an episode with the three of us, hopefully with the same frequency that we did in the past. We'll be doing a lot more of those.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we listen to you and we care about you.
Well,
Ish.
some of us.
You should look into the camera when you say it. Though.
I'm
As
looking.
opposed-
My camera's right
Oh,
here.
you are. Oh, I thought
Yeah,
you were
look
looking
over
into
there.
Matt's
No.
eyes.
No,
I was
no.
just. I'm just
No.
so sweet.
I like a
but-
lot of meals, but let's not go crazy. God.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
We know of new methods of attack. The Trojan horse, the fifth column.